Hello, welcome everybody. We don't see much of you here. Doesn't matter, maybe better for us. I would like to introduce you our guests, who are guys who are playing tonight, but they also played yesterday, they played the day before, they played all the time. So please welcome Brano, Vedran from Dubioza Kolektiv, and Jakubović, who played tonight. And
thank you.
Tineke, I expect you are the second host with me. I didn't know, but
second hostage.
Yeah. My name is Dušan Sviba. I'm from Czech Republic, and I know these guys a couple of years. So that's
Don't
probably
be modest.
That's probably
15. How much?
17, maybe something like this. Yeah. So that's probably my only qualification to make this speech. So we should speak about the topic, which is artist career. So, just guys, do you think you have any career as a musicians, or you made something like this already? You started already? Or?
I guess it's ongoing career in a way of still trying. We're still waiting for our 5 minutes of, kako se kaže, of fame. So it's very hard to directly answer to your question because it's still in process, and we will see where we end up on the end.
Do you have a straight plan to end up, or is it just attacking the problems, the things that are passing on the way, or you're like, in 10 years I'm there?
Music business is a strange addiction, so it's very hard to predict when you're gonna quit, and so we don't have plans. So for that part of career.
I personally, I'm following Goran Bregović's idea, and that means like he tells me once that I ask him like, why did you still? He's like 70 plus, so I ask him, why do you still playing like 100 shows per year? And he said, if I stop, I die. So I'm in the same spot there, I guess. So I'm thinking that I'm in around half of in 50% of my career right now.
And you have some advice for young bands, how to?
I don't have, because I feel like I'm still a young band, so I cannot advise young people because I'm even younger.
It's very ungrateful to try to give advices because every musician's or artist's path is different, and it's probably impossible to emulate the same thing. If we would try to do the same thing we did like 15 years, 17 years ago when we were starting, and try to repeat it now, it would probably be disaster. And it was just the matter of how things get connected in that moment of time and with that energy, and it worked for us. So we are here now, and if anybody else would try to repeat it, it would probably give different results, probably catastrophic ones.
Yeah, because we cannot say that we are the smartest band in the world because everything that we get came from the hardest way. We always go. Our path was always kind of, we have to go around things, never straight. So we never expected, like band from Bosnia or from Balkan, we never had this dream that we will be talented and practice in our basement room, and then some manager will come and discover us. So from beginning we knew that we have to work very hard I mean, the time when we started, it was each country we needed a visa, so half of our career we spent standing in a line to get visa for every show that we're supposed to play. And I don't know, I like it, and then you get used to it. And now I'm grateful, and I like, because I'm happy because I went through the hardest way to get there, and not the easiest one, because then you take everything for granted. You know, you think everything is just, you know, straight road.
Yeah, when we were starting, it was like early 2000s, and not a lot of Balkan musicians were touring Western Europe in that moment, and you would encounter a lot of prejudices from the promoters, from the festivals, from the clubs, because they were expecting some, you know, ragtag team band. They're going to be late. They're not going to have equipment. That show would be probably a disaster. You know, a lot of things they had in their minds as a typical Balkan music group thing, and it's in the beginning, we realized that we have to prove them wrong. And this is why we really, during the years, we developed this system that we really are proud of, that we have everything under our control, and that we are never late, and that we always do things better than anybody else expect. And this thing puts you on an equal foot with the rest of the bands. If you don't do it, then you're an underdog, and if you start from that perspective, it gives you strength. It hardens you in a way that benefits your career in the end, I think.
It reminds me that I wanted to, I remember when I met you first time, and then let's say we started to work together some way, and I was always I really appreciated how you did everything like on your DIY way. You know, this was like you did all the, not just the play, but many things around. And at the time, on the beginning, there was you had no management. You did everything by yourself, and there was a lot of work, and you did it really, really well. That's also why I think one of the reasons why you get where you're now. So I think this is a real point which should be would be good to say the other musicians how to, because it's on the beginning it's hard to have a management because you can't pay them, because that's a common job, and you have to do everything from playing, websites, social networks. You did all the graphics and so on, and so I think it's good to speak about this side. It's not just play the music, but all the things around.
But I guess when we started, 18, 20 years ago, our second gig outside Balkans was in Groningen in conference. Eurosonic conference. And our second, yes. First one was Olympic Games in Greece. And second one was...
Impressive start.
in Groningen, in Holland. And we knew nothing about it. We didn't even know what is music conference at all. So we went there, and to find out that music business is something completely different than we thought it is. And we play in this club at Simplon, and there was 6 people, and 2 of them who were like organizers of that gig. So it was really, I mean, what you see on the website and promo of the festival, of the conference, is you expect like, you know, you're thinking, oh, this is the shortcut. We go straight into the heart of music business and we will do something there. And then you play in front of the 6 people, and Danish National Radio was recording that gig unfortunately.
So we have a proof of what we did there. It's a miracle that we had any career after that.
Yeah, and then I guess 15 years later, they had that year the topic was Balkan music scene or something, I don't know, and they invite us to play in this main stage in the main square in a big tent, and that was amazing gig. And for me it was like in my head that was one of the breaking points, because to be able to go there and perform in front of thousands of people, and to be able to break the wooden floor because people were jumping so hard that they make a hole in the middle of the venue, was kind of very satisfying. After 6 people to few thousand in the same place, and that night I remember I talked to myself again about music business, like I still don't understand how this shit works.
But you have a particular way on handling the socials. Can you tell something about that? How you try to put yourself there in the market?
This is something that, you know, the beginning of the story before social networks is this do-it-yourself attitude that we really have from the beginning, and I guess it comes from the moment that we started doing music at all as teenagers during the war in Sarajevo, which is under the siege with no electricity, blah blah blah, and we really had hard time doing this and finding the ways how to play, how to find the rehearsal space with the electricity, blah blah. We started from the hard place, and then realized that okay, you have to do everything by yourself. So in the process, as the year passed, we really did that, from the recordings, from designs, from first social networks, from promotion, from management. We did all this and learned a lot through the process.
Excuse me to interrupt, but I guess we were lucky because as a band we lived through beginnings of internet. And internet 15 years ago, or social media, was something completely different than today. It was innocent place where you can freely promote what you do or what you think or whatever. So we were lucky to go through this process as a band, like from early YouTube videos and all of that to social medias. And this helped us a lot, this period of time where internet was giving you all the tools that you needed, which is today it's something completely different, and I cannot even imagine how is it for younger generations who are starting now, because they are faced with these huge companies that they have to compete, and in our time it was completely different. So it was much more creative. Internet was much more creative space than today, and you could do much more illegal things than today that we used a lot.
I know we learned as we go, from opening our first mail account somewhere in the 90s to we were on MySpace, on all of these networks. We tried and tried, and this is something that gives you experience to do it even now. And this is why I don't know. It was not our choice. We're not like control freaks that we really have to do everything by ourselves and have everything under control, because it is impossible. But it helps as with management.
It's completely different. We always ask, is there anybody who would like to do this? And
nobody wants.
But there's always silence on the other side.
But learning as in the beginning how to do management and booking directly, then helps you appreciate when somebody really fills in that spot and you find a manager and you find a booker, as we found Dušan so many years ago, and it was mutual love, because I remember on the second gig somewhere in some small festival in Czech Republic, there was some problem with promoter who didn't want to pay upfront money, and you know, it was the first or second time we saw Dušan at all, and then of course we thought, yeah, it will go on, and we will get money sometimes months later, and in one moment we saw Dušan taking out the flip knife from his pocket, small knife, and threatening the guy. He was like pale.
Vedran, and his business is growing right now.
Yeah.
You can see the number on social medias. It's like, it's blowing away. Everybody will like to work with him now.
No, but really, we this passion that he showed is really something for us, and this was mutual understanding. So we never actually
what you're saying that cold weapon is the most important thing in music business.
You know, for me it was like I was sending, because I really loved the band, and when I saw them first time I was totally wow. And when they offered me to work with them, I was, yeah, that's great. And when such a situation happened, so I said, that's probably on Balkans common thing, I have to do it.
You had to show the attitude, huh?
So yeah, okay.
But then, you know, because we did a couple of years of booking ourselves, a couple of years of self-management, so when, you know, people like Dušan and Login came to fill these spots, then, you know, we really knew what they were doing and how and why, and we really appreciated it because this happened. And with social networks and with all these other things, we still do it on our own because it, you know, if you try to delegate that to somebody else, it feels wrong in a way. It's still much better if you as a band handle the social networks and do this messaging thing directly.
So you just gave the advice, practical advice to younger generations. Always keep weapons with you on foreign gigs in order to get money on the end.
Yeah. That's good career advice.
You can always learn something in these kind of conferences. Nobody tells us this 20 years ago in Groningen.
That should be a thing.
Martial arts in music business.
That's like the point which there was like a moment when you decided, let's say, work with the management with Login. Was it just because you met him at the time, or was it your some like a decision to, hey, we need already somebody, we need a management, we don't, it's too much for us, or so we want somebody.
No, as the band grew, the amount of work needed to do management and booking, it was really growing as well. So we couldn't handle it. So we were looking for people and tried some other folks with that.
I mean, if you just said at a moment, hey, now it's already time to...
It's very simple. Basically, he was the only one who wanted to do it. You know, there was no one else. It was his bigger qualification.
That's important.
And we were lucky on the end.
It's important to be in the right time on the right place.
Yeah. I know, in a moment that like when amount of work is too big, you have to put it. But with social networks, the amount of work managing all this by ourselves is really starting to be too much, because every couple of years you have a new social network that you have to create content for it exclusively because it doesn't work on other networks, and you have to try and you have to fail and you have to create. It's like full-time job just doing this, and in the end it will probably be impossible to do it, because, you know, now everybody expects, you have to do NFTs, you have to do blockchain, you have to do this, you have to do that, and it's like it requires you a lot to invest a lot of your time that you really don't have. During the pandemics, we did these lockdowns and everything, we had some spare time to do things that we didn't have. But in a normal year, when we play 100+ shows, then we don't have time, because we are most of the time on the road, and simply you cannot do it. So we'll see what's going to happen in the end.
And how do you make the decision which network you choose? You jump on everything, or you just like try and see if it works and put it aside, or?
For the social networks? I mean, we try everything. we were early adopters of I think every social network that existed. Ones that failed and one that succeeded, and that's the only way. Now we have like, I don't know, 500,000 people on Facebook and 100,000 on Twitter, and like we have big numbers, but not because it just happened, but because we grew exponentially from the very, very starts of the network itself. And then you see how it evolves, and then it drains a lot of energy to see how these algorithms change every week. You have to adjust your the amount of content you create. And well, it's annoying to do this, but you have to. Everybody expects you that you have something, but then again, hiring a marketing agency that would handle all this, it's totally wrong.
You see, this is how it works out. You have to have right person and right time.
Log in, join us, please.
We need to bring more audience, so put a rakia a little bit.
Basically, all of this that we talk about was complete bullshit. Now we're going to show you how to succeed in music business, basically.
I just wanted to ask how big is the career, but when they bring the bottles, it's really clear that the career is really big now.
Yeah, and this is how we get all
their own mark.
This is how we get all the booking agencies and everybody.
It's great work with such a band. Yeah.
Please, you're expert in this part of music business. Most important part of music business.
Catering is the most important part of music career.
So, first you have to have a good product. Go easy with that, come on. It's premium brand. And then you try to invite everybody else. And we will see how this social network will work out on the end.
It's actually already smelling really great, so if you want some, you should come here, I think.
So who wants some taste of music business, please approach to the stage.
This is actually the exclusive tasting of Dubioza Kolektiv Maksuzija Plum Brandy.
I'm artist, exactly, that's why I'm doing it. You are not artist, you can drink from bottle, yeah, of course. Now people are starting to come in.
That's great exemption that they are still independent. They don't really on the manager only.
So glad to see so many people coming up front now. Finally.
So in between, if you let's say started to work with a management, so you put all the duties on him. So now you,
you can see over there, yeah, on your right.
So now, you just what do you do now? You just enjoy sex, drugs, rock and roll, or what?
No sex, no drugs, only alcohol.
Alcohol, yeah.
That we have to produce by ourselves again.
Different generation.
It's proper DIY attitude. Pa ima druga, šta?
But I think it's a good example on how you take things in your hands, because you were talking about we have to learn, and you talked about the story behind just some time ago to me, but it's also the same with the I have with the rakia. You go for the quality because you believe in a product. It's not the easiest way
at the moment.
Huh?
A lot of fans are arriving at the moment.
So music business is growing. Yeah, actually, you see, rakia opens a lot of doors. We don't have to. And your ass looks really good on camera right now. Yeah, let's show the world how music business works. Asshole. And you were saying
that it's kind of the same like what you did with your career, because you went to a local place.
yeah, I find this distillery in the village where my grandmother lives in north of Bosnia, and accidentally I went there with my friend to have lunch and to taste some of the rakia because he take me there. I didn't know that distillery exists, and when we tried the product, it was really good. So we start talking to the owner who came to visit us for the lunch, and I tell them like how we always wanted to have Dubioza Kolektiv rakia, because there is a lot of beer companies that wanted to do special edition Dubioza beer, but we never kind of see ourselves connected to a beer company because, I don't know, Balkan is not really a traditionally beer place. So this came like, as you can see, this came really convenient, and we had a lot of spare time last year. So, and we are early adopters, as Vedran said, early alcoholic adopters, and so yeah, we went for it. You know, just to make time short, and with a lot of colors.
But this lockdown last year and situation that we suddenly had so much time without shows and everything proved us that there's so many things that we were not managing to do during normal pre-pandemic years. And for example, we finally set up the proper merchandise, the band merchandise website and company associated with that and the production of that, and it really grew up. And if it wasn't for the pandemics, we would never invest that amount of money into that part of business, which is really important for the artist, I guess, because you really have to, you cannot have loose ends in the end and that's also part of the music business and the career. And the rakia is then the thing. And then we fulfilled our childhood dream of having a comic book. So now we have Dubioza Kolektiv comic book released a couple of months ago. So some things that we would probably wouldn't have time to do in a normal year, we managed to do. So
basically, when you start drinking a lot, you have all these stupid ideas. Non-profit stupid ideas.
Start drinking.
So let me ask, what do you think about rakia? Who is for good, who is for bad?
Good.
Good. You have a question? Good. That's surprising. There is a microphone behind your back. And a comment. Oh, more surprises coming.
I just
wait until we drink another bottle. Then it will become interesting.
I just tried this rakia, and I thought that I know something about rakia, like almost an expert. But this is incredible stuff. Actually, my first question.
Sorry, what did you get? Plum or apricot?
Plum.
What is plum?
Plum. No,
Yeah.
is it transparent or?
Transparent. Yeah.
So you got apricot.
Apricot. Yeah. I can
Your
feel
question
that.
was?
First, my question was, can I ask for water? But then I tried the rakia, and it's excellent. You don't want even water afterwards, anything. But did you actually somehow influence the production, or they just gave you a few rakias to try, and like, what rakia do you want to give your name, or you were actually there, I don't know, putting the apricots in the machine, or like adding music to it or something, or you just like, yeah, we're giving name to this great rakia, and that's it.
I'm very happy that this music conference have a new angle of of discussion.
Please switch quickly.
Rakia sommelier part.
My name is Brano and I'm alcoholic.
My name is Stefan. afraid.
You will become alcoholic very fast.
You know, I'm on the stage when I still think I'm not, but I can't remember last day when I didn't have
So-
rakia. You know?
Bring your chair here and we should talk about it more. Actually, we find these people who do this amazing product, so we didn't want to, it's quite, I always, this is what we want to change when we talk about rakia, because wherever we go around the globe, people normally don't really know what rakia is. Everybody think it's a version of vodka. And then,
Or they think it's this crappy
Exactly.
Turkish stuff from anise or Arab, like raki, arak.
so basically people don't really know what it is. And rakia is something that is known that people will produce in their home, you know, and the quality is questionable. So we wanted to present this powerful liquid in their full capacity. So we didn't want to kako se kaže, da se ne miješam.
Interfere.
Yeah, we didn't want to interfere in what they do because they do amazing job. We just basically pick few of the flavors and let them do the rest. We will do, you know, we did branding and all of that, but the taste itself we give to the guys who do it much better and decide much better than we do.
So you were like, you chose the right producers
Exactly.
and just said, I want this and this and that. Like in my, do you do music the same? Like you just find the producer and send him your lyrics and they finish it all up the same way?
This is our dream for the last 20 years, but it's not working like this. This music we have to do by ourselves, and it would be completely wrong if somebody else do it for us. It would be easier, but wrong. A comment, there is a... Microphone is coming.
So, your story is amazing,
Please first tell us your name and
Okay,
if you are alcoholic or not.
yes, of course, my nickname is Saros. On Turkish it means drinker, so my family has that.
That explains a lot.
I messed up. Yes, I have to live with that. But anyway, your story is amazing. And okay, my name is Nelko Nelkovski. I'm a theater director and also I'm a producer. 8 albums, 1,000 concerts, and from village in Bosnia after the war, you really make great success. And your story is amazing, I must say that. And your work, like in Hollywood, you know, it's one sentence, success by night in Hollywood means hard work at least 15 years by day. So you work very hard, and of course each time has some kind of specific, but I'm really impressed from your work, and my suggestion is to write some kind of memories, or maybe it's too early, or maybe some kind of tools how to which can be used from the young bands, because a lot of bands, they haven't that kind of passion, and maybe they are sometimes they are amazing, but after 1 or 2 years they completely falling down. So your passion and your energy is some kind of amazing, great from this part of the world, and I find really very rich your experience. It doesn't matter which kind of it is, but if you write all steps which you pass till now, it will be very, very useful for the young bands, and maybe this conference and this Heavy or something like that can manage some kind of material. It can be video, but also some written materials. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, we already had this idea, and we tried to start writing biography or memoirs or whatever, but alcohol is again a problem for that, because there is a lot of black holes in our memory, so it's not really possible
He's
to...
unstoppable.
Hmm?
You are unstoppable.
I think there's another thing. It's good you said that they are really hardworking, but they are also very humble when they are on tour. They do a lot of stuff themselves, help the crew out. Even when they came to, I have a really, really small festival.
Who is humble now?
They came there for the first time, and they are so professional. You have sometimes young bands who come and fuck it up for themselves because we are all volunteers on the festival, and they are getting angry with us because we missed something. They don't get angry. They work around and they see what we do for them, and they appreciate it also. So I think that's the second thing to put in the book.
And the third thing is the after party that we are not going to discuss right now.
Or mention.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to say.
I'm not like Vedran to tell all the secrets.
Yeah. I'd like to say something to this exactly because I let's say was speaking with some promoters or people who when the band played in places which I booked, and everybody is always like, wow, they are great guys, everything works perfect, great music, they are nice people and everything. And also when I speak with some bands, musicians, it's always for me like a exemption, because since the beginning they started, let's say, to come to Czech Republic, Poland, Slovakia. It's like 1,000 kilometers to drive, you know, so it's not so easy. But they on the beginning the fees were not so much, and but they always did it, and they worked. It was always to see that they worked really hard, and they always made like 100%. The concert, everything around was always. So it's like. It's not only just to play, but all things around, and everything was always like full. That's yeah. It took a couple of years, 10, 12, so. But today the band is somewhere totally different position, and it's not just the. Yeah, it's always about the talent. It's about a lot of work, and also some happiness to be on the good place today, but it's always.
May I ask something or add something? There is also another. The band is excellent. My name is Michal. The band is excellent. Of course, they played our festival. I think 2 times, or I think so. And but there are great people around them as well. And this is the question: how did you meet the magician Login the Great from beautiful city of Skopje?
We met, 15 years, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I'm not sure. And like I said before, Login was the only person from music business who really wanted to, who took us seriously and probably see something interesting. I don't know. We played in Taksirat for the first time at his festival here in Skopje. And then after this, when we met, we started. It was, easy thing. After a few bottles of distillated favorite drink, we realized that we have same, kako se kaže ovo, talents. This is not talent. It's something else. We have the same view. On how music business for us should work, and what Dušan said earlier is we don't really want to be band who is like professional or serious. I don't know how to explain, but it have to be. I guess in this business, if it's not fun, then it's pointless. So we try to have fun all the time, and Login is kind of manager who, as you could see, makes a lot of fun all the time. So it kind of works for us.
Oh, yeah, hi. Great meeting you guys, and great Rakia. My name is Javor, I come from Bulgaria. I represent the Sofia International Music Conference, and I have a band as well, so it's kind of it's very important and very interesting for me to hear your story, because you know, I'm trying to make the work banned internationally as well, and that's why I'm here. And but the question I'd like to ask is, can you tell us more about how you keep yourself together, how you stick together like a band? Because it's been a lot of time that you've been together, right? And as you said, your first concerts were in front of like what, 5-6 people. That can't be that, and if this goes on for a while, it can be quite demoralizing, right? You will need a lot of rakia to cope with that.
I mean, it helps. At least it helps with amount of people that you can see in the crowd.
Yeah.
After few shots from 6, you can see 18.
Yeah, it works. It works.
I mean, the ticket count is still 6, but
Yeah.
at least it's better for you.
Yeah, and it's painful when you get back home and you're like, oh fuck, this is like $10. You know, how do I divide $10?
And my head is hurting like
yeah,
hell.
in between 8 people, you know, that sucks. So yeah, how do you keep the moral high? How do you keep the band together? What makes you still be together after all these years?
Good combination of drugs and alcohol keeps morale up. I know we were lucky, I guess, to find people for a band, and our band is made of people. We are not like typical, you know, neighborhood friends who decided, or whatever, high school friends who decided to have a band. Me and Vedran, we know each other from high school, and then we have 2 guys from Zenica, which is like 100 kilometers up north, and then we have drummer from Croatia, from Istria, then we have guitar player from Slovenia, and you know, saxophone player from Serbia. So basically all these individuals have the same need to play music and to travel. So those 2 things are common to all of us. So it's not really about, you know, when you think about it, it's not about how much money you make every day. Money is always important, but if you do it for the money, there is much better jobs to do than to drive in a van and play loud music. But I guess we were lucky to find people who have the same passion, like 2 of us. And another thing is, we don't really lose a lot of time, because for one rehearsal we need average kilometers is like 700. To, you know, each member of the band have to go around 700 kilometers to do one rehearsal. So, you know, when you are a neighborhood band, you know, this rehearsal we can do it tomorrow or day after tomorrow. You know, it's easy. And for us it's completely different, because when we are in one place, then we don't lose time. We just try to work and play and record or do as much as we can.
But it was not all the time, because on the beginning all the band was from Sarajevo and Zenica, as far
And
as
Mostar.
Mostar, yeah.
But
But that's a similar. I wanted to ask a similar question, because if I remember when I was traveling with you, like we went to Poland or somewhere, I never seen. When you count the kilometers and time when you spend together, these people, it's really like a challenge. And I never seen. And if you are there in such a party, you can see this. Yeah, they are friends, but these 2 guys are probably have something which, but I never seen anything between any guys, even from them who left already. Never seen anything like this. It was always perfect, which was really it's a really magic a little bit.
I think it's a psychological trick in those early years. We were behind this Schengen wall. We needed visa to go anywhere else except Croatia and Serbia. So we really needed visa for everything. So our first obstacle was not traveling somewhere couple hundreds or 1,000 kilometers. It was this visa bullshit that really.
You
was
remember
the first thing
how
that
many
you have to
papers
overcome.
you have to send us for any show and every visa?
So once we got visas, the travel itself and this everything else that came after was not an obstacle but a reward. You know, we felt that we already won, and we enjoyed even the driving for a couple hundred kilometers. And this was really the thing that when you think back, it helps us, because you know we were really angry that we have to do it, but we were stubborn and we did it. We really, you know, we did the show in I don't know, in Slovenia during the weekend, and Monday we come back and go to the embassy again to apply for another visa for the next weekend, and it like that lasted for years. Really, we were off this Schengen visa list. I think 12 years ago, 13 years ago, something like that. But first couple of years, we really spent a lot of time. We changed passports every 3 months because they were all full of these visa stickers. It was ridiculous, but in a way, it created this stubbornness in us that we really wanted to do it despite of everything.
But for me, it's incredible. Like, there's a lot of bands who are always complaining about traveling. That is very weird for me, because I would never play in a band if I don't like to travel. Because for me personally, 50% is music, 50% is traveling, you know, around the world to see different places. And I enjoy.
I would say more. The traveling is more time consuming.
I don't care. I enjoy going places, and you know, it's for. I don't know. It gives me. I don't know. It gives me same joy as playing on stage. So I guess it's very important to enjoy traveling if you want to play in the band. Because I know some colleagues who are like, if they have to go, I don't know, from whatever, Zagreb to Ljubljana, to Skopje, they would say, we have to sleep in Belgrade because it's fucking 800 kilometers. You know, it's so long trip.
I just can remember one Czech band which I was booking, and I had a gig for them in Warsaw, in Poland, Warsaw, and the girl single, it's like I don't know, 700, 800 kilometers, and the girl single, she asked, do we fly? I said no, it's not so much money for it, so I don't go. So they never played. But okay, yeah. You always came, so this was really great.
I mean, this gave us opportunity to see some really bizarre places.
I know what you mean.
We did some in that process. We did some really suicidal things, like traveling to Moscow by the van. That was really something.
Okay, another advice for young bands: don't travel with the van to Russia, because experience on the borderline, it's amazing. 24 hours experience is amazing.
With the X-raying the equipment in the end.
Do we have any more advice?
I'm sorry.
Some Russians in the.
Please take a microphone, because.
Hi, I'm Galina, and I'm representing the festival that you had to go through all this shit in Russia.
Okay. Thank you for switching.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for switching slots with another band, because we were late for 1 hour.
I am not sorry, because shit happens. You know, I had to go when I went to Wales. I had to spend 12 hours in the airport with a bunch of Serbians, immigrants, and I couldn't actually explain that I was not part of that. But
there's nothing wrong with that, huh?
That's not wrong. 12 hours was wrong. You know, it doesn't mean I hate England. You know, after that. But tell us more about the actual experience. I mean, was it hard just because of the 24 hours at the border, or the whole experience, because it's a long way, and what you see on the way, and were you rewarded somehow in the beginning? Were you in time for the concert and stuff?
No, we were for the show. We were late for, I don't know, I guess 2 slots. So luckily organizers switched the slots with other bands, and
Gentlemen's Dub Club.
huh?
For first show in Moscow.
Yes.
We come on the borders.
You were with us.
Yes, me, like a guest. Yeah, and we come on the borders, and the Russian tell us, "Do you have ATA carnet?" We say yes, so you can go to wait behind the trucks. So we 24 hours. Yeah. So this story I will tell you after this rakia, but now we need, kako se kaže, to finish with the panel. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming on PIN conference.
Excuse me. Is this NATO influence too?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you see, you start speaking about Russia and then they cut you off.
Thank you very much to everybody. PIN panels finished.
Finishing at the best
And
moment.
tonight we have a beautiful artist, beautiful bands. And if you love me, pay the tickets and come.
There is a half a liter more of apricot, so please
Approach
help
to
yourself.
stage.